So I next want to introduce a very special woman who is residing over in Nevada, Eve Dawes. She was born and raised in England and was a professional ballerina before becoming a fitness professional, beauty queen, and cruelty-free beauty advocate. Eve is a WBFF. I thought WWF when I first saw that, so it's not that. Pro diva, Miss Nevada. She was Miss Nevada a couple years ago, and she's an NASM certified trainer and trusted expert on fitness, fashion, cruelty-free beauty. She's been featured in Oxygen, Iron Man, Strong Fit, and Firm Magazine, HuffPost, bodybuilding.com. She's the founder of Glamour and Gains by Eve blog and podcast, and Dawes Custom Cosmetics. So the other speakers on here, I think I introduced Christina and Eve, but I think like even Missy, like you should go on her show. She's so fun. You guys should team up and do her podcast because it's awesome, and you guys should all listen to it. And she talks about, cruelty-free void and luxe cosmetics. And she doesn't have just another lipstick company, but a custom experience where you can create your own custom lipstick to ensure the perfect color. And right now she's like custom coloring through like a Zoom call or a Skype call. So you can actually watch her create it for you and she sends it off, which is really cool. So she actually did a giveaway this week. So one of you actually get to that custom experience. And she is so awesome. You can catch her on Spill the Tea every Tuesday at 10 a.m. on her podcast every Sunday, and you can connect with her on Instagram at Eve Dawes. So if you are an Instagrammer, make sure that you guys are tagging our speakers because they're going to repost whatever you tag today, and you can grow your own following. So Eve is sponsored by Co-Organic Kombucha today, like I mentioned. So Eve, are you here? Take it away.
I'm here, and thank you, Co, for sponsoring this segment. I appreciate it. I love some good kombucha, get the bacteria, healthy bacteria going on the insides. Awesome. I need to be better and do the mocktails, not cocktails. But thank you for the intro. Thank you for having me here. What else? I don't really have much to say because you did such a thorough intro. So I'm just kind of jump straight in because it's a lot to cover in 25, 30 minutes. I'll answer all your questions at the end. If I don't get to yours, please message me on Instagram. I will get back to you. And if I don't know the answer, I'm not going to BS you. I will find out the answer from the pro from you. Christina Flack was actually on today's podcast on Glamour and Gains. So we are all connecting on here. That's what I'm loving about this summer. Like, we're connecting with really great people. So if anyone is a beauty, health, or fitness professional, feel free to pitch me as well. I'm always looking for new guests on the show. Happy to promote each other. I think it's really about empowering each other and sharing knowledge because we don't all know everything, right? So it's like looking to outside resources and experts in their niche. So anyway, I'm going to start sharing my screen. Same as Christina, it's the first time I've used presentations. So we're going to see how this goes. I want to try and flick back a little bit between the screen and myself because I want to kind of demo some of the things more than just having the screens up, but we'll start with the screens. So anyway, that was my first. She already did all the intro. You don't need that. But for anyone who's coming to watch this later, it will all be here. So we're going to start with glowing youthful makeup hacks and my favorite products for this. The reason, I live in Las Vegas. I moved here about 6 years ago and my skin literally changed overnight. It's so dry. And I was so scared of putting oils on my skin, of making it oily, because I used to have combination skin. Now it's more just kind of dry. But the oils, like, don't be afraid of oils if you're not using them. Like we've talked about before, they are really, really like the wonder product. They're not going to make you greasy. So with saying that, you can use them. Yes, use them in your AM, PM skincare routine. But during the day to get that kind of, keep that hydration in and youthful glow, you can even mix them in to your serum or your moisturizer or even your foundation. So if you've got a foundation that you like that's more full coverage and you want to use that for the summer, if you add a few drops of facial oil to your foundation, it's going to thin it out a little bit and make it super hydrating. I've linked Image Skincare's here, the Vital C facial oil. It smells amazing. It's like orange scented, but they're all natural as well. They're cruelty-free. So all my products I'm recommending are cruelty-free. That's my main thing. I'm never going to recommend a company that's not. I just think there's so many good alternatives out there. The same as like the people. I'm still trying to find a lot of the clean beauty is new to me. Like, I'm not going to be honest with you that it's new, but like I've tried to put like beauty counter in that was recommended to me. I haven't personally tried it, but I've heard amazing things. I know Cassandra loves them, and I trust Cassandra's opinion on these things. They do a kind of version of it as well. So that vitamin C is really, really good for nourishing the C and getting that glow. So what I'm talking about today is specific creating that dewy, hydrated skin, because I think especially with the kind of, as I'm aging, I'm noticing the more dehydrated the skin, the more fine lines I get. So really getting that hydration, whether that's drinking your water. I'm pretty good with that because I was having to drink a gallon of water a day with doing the bodybuilding and the fitness modeling. And like Christina said, with the celery juice, anything you can do to really hydrate the skin from within. And then the oil is just going to be kind of a little extra to give it that boost. And then something you can do to help with that lit from within glow, besides choosing a foundation that's going to be more glowy. I like a good full coverage foundation. I'm not going to lie. So I'm not going for those sheer more dewy looks. I'm kind of having to fake it. I like mixing an illuminator with the foundation. And rather than having a million products in my makeup bag, I kind of like ones that that double up because I travel so much, and even like using mini sizes. So my new find is actually Cover FX, and it is clean beauty on Sephora. It's also cruelty-free. And the beauty with these is you can mix it in your foundation to work as an illuminator. So that's going to start everything. And then you can also use it as your highlighter. So you don't need two products. You can use it for both. You're just using different amounts to get that look. So 1 to 3 drops mixed with a foundation. And then I'll show you when we get to the highlight portion how I'm using it for my highlight. So the foundation options I have that are cruelty-free and clean are going to be Beauty Counter, Lawless. I love Lawless. She was actually the founder of one of the green, like one of the cold pressed juice companies in California. And then she started this, and her whole product is clean and cruelty free. They're on Sephora, and I just love her stuff. I love her. She's just fun. She's real. She's gorgeous. She always knows how to do makeup. She always gives good tips. Ilya, however you want to say it, that the other girls recommended, Bite Beauty, and then Miss Mac Cosmetics as well. I'm sure Missy will tell you more about her cosmetics. So concealer tips. Okay, it's really easy to want to follow the like highlight, concealer, contour tips we're seeing on Instagram, which is great when you're 20. It's not as flattering when you're 40 because when you start taking the concealer all the way around the eyes, it's going to settle in the fine lines. So what I've been doing, I'm going to stop sharing the screen for actually you can kind of see me on the screen anyway. I'm literally putting my concealer just on the inner corner and avoiding this area because that's going to kind of naturally be lighter anyway, unless you have really dark circles. So just doing here and then going over the entire eyelid to create that nice base for the eyeshadow. But this way it's not going to settle. Like most of the fine lines are going to be underneath and in the corners on the crow's feet. So the less makeup and the more moisturizer and oils we can put in there, the better. So that's going to deflect because it's all about reflecting light, and that's going to keep the youthful illuminated look. So just highlighting there. And then the next tip with this is it's really quick, like we want to bake it and just move on. Let your concealer dry before baking it. When you don't, that's when the powder gets stuck to it and sets and emphasizes the creases and the fine lines. So do other things, let that dry, and then when it's done, what I recommend doing is literally just putting the powder there rather than all the way around, because that's when you start to create that dry, cakey look under the eyes that we talked about. It's all about the hydration. So really, even with the powder, just use it where you need it so you can get that natural glow coming through that you've created, rather than making this beautiful glow and then mattifying everywhere. And then choosing that hydrating light reflecting formula for your concealer. So the ones below are the ones I recommend for, rather than creating that cakey look, they're going to be the ones that give a radiant finish, that are more hydrating, that are brightening, and that still have that, a lot of like Josie Maran is still full coverage, because I like, especially when I'm using it in limited areas, I want that full coverage. So don't buff it out too much. You want to give it coverage. But the First Aid Beauty, the first one, the Brighten, Depuff and Smooth, actually has a metal tip. So you can even keep it in the fridge, and then it's really nice and cooling and depuffing under the eyes. Obviously, the Fab Bendy is called bendy because it's supposed to move with your skin. It's not supposed to crack or crease. So that's a really good one. And then obviously the Costless one is going to be the brightening and more hydrating. And the last one as well, very hydrating, more coverage. So any questions about the concealers, I'll take them at the end. But I'm going to move on because I know I'm a talker. Okay, so tips for hooded eyes. I notice when this happens to me, when I haven't had enough sleep, when I sleep too long on my stomach, which I'm a stomach sleeper, I know it's really bad for your skin, or when I've had too much salt and I'm retaining water. So this morning I noticed my eyes were looking extra hooded. Also, if you're a Botox bunny and your Botox is starting to wear off, they can start to come down. If you have too much Botox, they can start to come down. So it's like, how do we avoid or make their hooded eyes kind of disguise them, because we can't necessarily cure them. So the first thing I would say is start with your eyebrows, because they're going to frame the eyes and give you a good shape to follow for doing your eyeshadow. And then when you're going in with your eyeshadow, what I would recommend doing, do I have a brush here? No. Is rather than going all the way down into the crease and following it around and down like we might do on normal shape eyes, is literally just to lift up to there. Don't go past literally in the midline of the eye. I don't know if you can see it on mine, but I've not really taken it past the midline, and I've angled it upwards towards my eyebrow. And then from the corner of the eye, I've literally followed it out along that eye. So everything is up. So when I'm doing it, I'm pulling that angle up with the brush to keep that illusion and keeping the eyes lighter and brighter, and then keeping the dark shadow above the crease, not below it. And then below the crease is where you can go with your lighter shade. So let me stop sharing the screen for 2 seconds because I want to kind of show you a bit more. Are you seeing me on the screen? Because at the moment I see Clean Beauty.
Nope,
Do you see the photo?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay, perfect. All right. So if you go with a lighter, a lot of people are scared of shimmery colors as they get older. They think it's a youthful thing. I actually think, yes, matte's professional for the day, for work sometimes, but I don't think there's anything wrong with doing a light shimmer and using that highlight and pop, and that's going to help make the eyes look bigger as well. So if you're doing it literally just in the inner corner here to give it that highlight, but then taking it, and then you can even cheat it and go slightly, you see where the natural crease is, go slightly higher than that crease. So rather than putting the dark color in the socket, which is going to close the eye down, keep that highlight in there and put the darker shades slightly above. Now, I'm only talking about hooded eyes specifically. This isn't applied to regular eyes where you can go into the socket and create that beautiful smoky eye. It's literally just like mine right now. You can see my upper eyelid is literally hanging over my lower eyelid. I need more sleep. Back to share screen. Sorry, I'm now trying to find my presentation for you. There we go. Should be back on. So I hope that makes it clear. And then once you've done the inner corner, obviously the eyeshadow can actually make those creases look worse underneath. So I would literally just go in with a Q-tip and clean out any kind of fallout you have, so that you're not, again, because if you have it in the creases, it's going to highlight the creases. We want to keep that really clean under the eyes. And then if you want to make them look, on to tip number 3, is aligning the lower lash with a cream eye pencil to create that more awake look. And a lot of companies now are creating eyeliners specifically designed for that inner eye area, so they're not irritating, and it'll just make the eyes look more awake. Beauty Counter, I think, does one, and then Tarte does one. It's called Fake Awake Eye Highlight, because it's faking that awake, bright look. And then another tip you can do with your eyeliner, rather than doing an even line, this is again just for hooded eyes, rather than taking an even line all the way across the eye, all the way to the inner corner, is to line the inside of the eye, the lash line on the inside, really, really lightly. And then the outside, literally just going from, again, stopping about midpoint. So I'm starting at the outside with a thicker line and then making it thinner on the way in. So it's not taking up the entire lower lid, because if you're taking up the entire lower lid with your eyeliner, if it's small, you're closing everything in again. So it's all about just cheating it everywhere you can. Okay. So again, like this is just like metallic eyeshadows. especially when they're loose, you can really blend them in, blend them out. I'm not talking about disco ball colors, just talking about ones that reflect the light, so it gives you that brighter, lighter look. Okay, so with highlighters, I touched on this briefly before. I used to love powders because they're super easy to work with, just swipe them on, easy to blend. I've really got into using the liquid. So what I will do is, I'm just gonna move my mic away slightly. It's literally, I've already got it on, so it's gonna look now like I've got a lot going on. I will literally put 3 drops, not too high. So again, I used to do it a lot higher along the top of the brow bone. I'm taking it down slightly, and then I'm using my middle finger, and you want to just blend. So like at the moment I have a line, right? You want to blend that in a straight line. You can feel when you're doing it with your finger and not a brush as well, exactly where the brow bone is. And that will reflect the light when you're using liquid without it settling in the fine lines like a powder does. And you want to do that until it's kind of, you have the look you want. So I like a really popping highlight, and I like it for camera, but on everyday life, you might want it more muted and softer. And then another tip with that, with the contouring, which is the other side of that, because you're creating that light and shade, is to figure out where you want the contour. Everyone's face shape is different. If you've got a narrow nose, you're probably not going to want to contour your nose. But with the anti-aging specifically, this is one Christina and I both actually do, and that's to do like a little strap literally underneath the jawline all the way across, so you create that illusion of shadow so that you don't have that hangingness so much. But if you're doing that, you're going to have to blend, because otherwise you're going to have this telltale brown line under your chin, which isn't the look we're going for with that. And so before, like I said, then my product picks underneath is the Cover FX enhancer drops, because they are multi-purpose and I just love the color. The one I'm using specifically is a Moonlight Glow. It's just a beautiful, it's like a really good universal, oh, it's fading out now, universal bronzy golden color, and it's really flattering, especially in the summer when your skin's naturally golden anyway. So it's just really, really youthful. The other ones, there are 2 sites actually, and Cassandra turned me onto these, and they're Credo and EWG. And you can look on there, you can filter by brands, by products to find the cleanest. And they have scale ratings as well on EWG, like 1 through I think 10, rating like cleanest to dirtiest makeup. So you can kind of, you know what you're buying, you know how safe it is. Okay, and then obviously like that last one we talked about before with using it as an all over glow enhancer, more drops, more luminance. You can also use it on your collarbone, your shoulders, wherever you want to get that highlight and youthful, glowy, bronzy look, especially going into summer. So another thing is that hydrated lips. It's really easy with matte lipsticks to kind of get them very drying. So you can find matte formulas, but they're always going to be more drying because they've got less moisture, less oils in them. So I'd always say for a youthful look, go for a hydrating cream lipstick. Or if you're going to do a matte, put a gloss or something over the top. Or if you don't want to change the color, you can use like the Miracle Hydrating Lip Plumper from my cosmetic line, Dawes Custom Cosmetics, which is going to add that hydrating. It's actually a hydrating lip mask. And then the natural peptides in there are going to plump, they're going to smooth, they're going to hydrate. So by smoothing out the fine lines, you're going to make the lips look younger. You can also do that with, there's also primers for lips that are anti-aging if you want to really try and get out the lines. But I find the most anti-aging for the products to be glosses, just because they tend to have the most hydration in them, the most moisturizer in them. And then if your lips are drying out, check the ingredients in the products you have. I've listed them there, like ethanol, isopropyl alcohol, alcohol denat. A lot of these are going to be really, really drying ingredients you want to avoid. And then the other thing I've noticed that a lot of the time as skin ages, we tend to get more fine lines along the lip line, and that's when the makeup starts to feather out and we get those bleed lines. And that's where using a lip liner is really important to keep that color locked in, keep it where it belongs, so it's not wandering around your face, especially after eating. So then the last thing you're going to do is obviously set and glow. So we talked about building up the glow with the oils, with the primer, with the dewy foundations, with the illuminator. So the last thing you want to do then is slap a load of powder over the top and hide everywhere. We're saying that you still want to bake certain areas or figure out where you're, if you're not oily, you're fine. For me, I always want to do, like I said, the inner corner of my eyes, just to set the concealer there. And then I tend to do my T-zone because I'm right in the corners of my nose, across the top of my lips, chin, that's it. I mean, I don't really sweat through this area, so I can just let that do its thing and not get rid of that dewiness. And then a setting spray goes a long way. So choosing the right setting spray, there's anti-aging, there's mattifying. So with this, for a youthful look, go for one with a dewy finish. Things like Fasali, they have a rose gold 24 karat skin mist. So that gold in there really, really helps to like reflect the light and create that brightness. It's alcohol free, so it's not drying. It has the rosehip seed oil to keep that hydration going. It's just layers of hydration. The more, the better. And then you can keep spritzing that over your makeup in the day to keep it fresh and keep it hydrated. Don't just think it's one and done in the morning. Pop it in your bag or keep it in the fridge if you're working from home and just keep refreshed. And then the other one is the In Beauty Project, that Power Up Dual Face Face Mist, which again was, if you've got kind of more red skin or more irritated skin, that's really going to nourish, soothe, clarify, and hydrate the skin. So if you're still wondering how to find clean products, Sephora is great. You can now filter. I've highlighted it here. If you go into shop and then scroll down, and you can filter by clean makeup, and they also have their green leaf clean stamp on it, so you know exactly what you're buying, rather than always having to like scroll through all the ingredients, because I know there's so many ingredients and it can be really, really overwhelming. So I'm talking really fast because there's so much to get in here and I'm almost out of time. So, okay, if you want to screenshot this or save this for another time, rather than me go through everything on here, these are my picks all the way through, from the face oil to the foundation, the liquid highlighter, the eyeshadow, eyeliner, gel, lipstick, everything is there. And I'm also going to I'll throw a blog post up on Glamour and Gains by Eve to summarize all of this, to give you all of the links again, so to make it really easy to find. Okay, really, really quickly on this, because I'm running out of time. No equipment workouts. Power through. So the best way to do this is to find a reliable source. There are tons of free apps out there now. So Peloton was actually a surprise to me, because you think Peloton, you think of the bike or the treadmill. They have loads of things out there where you actually don't need equipment. So they have a boot camp, they have yoga, they have meditation, they have strength, they have cardio, they have stretching. So all things that don't need any equipment. Their Nike training app, they have the same thing. Again, it's free. My only tip with using YouTube is very, very careful who you choose to train with. It's great to support smaller YouTubers, but make sure they have credentials. Make sure they are qualified personal trainers or have some kind of certification, because your safety is first. I've been doing tons of non-workout non-equipment workouts on my blog and YouTube for years, because I travel a lot. So I always want to be able to do things I can do in 5-10 minutes on the go that aren't going to mess up my hair and makeup when I've just got a little bit of time. And then I've listed all the exercises you can do at home that are really easy to do. And again, if you want to Google what they are, if you don't know what they are, go to YouTube or bodybuilding.com. Bodybuilding.com is a really good, legitimate source. You can actually type in the exercise and it will come up with a video demo of it. So body weight squats, bridges, lunges, calf raises, and then the abs. There are so many ab exercises you can do. Upper body press ups, tricep dips, Superman, swimmers, and then plyometric exercises, which basically just means jumping. So mountain climbers, switch lunges, burpees, squat jumps, pop squats, skipping, everything, because they also cardio exercises, but they're also weight bearing. So anything weight bearing is going to help to tighten and tone and burn calories. So all of these things can be done, no equipment, at home. You can mix and match them however you want. You can do in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour. It's all about you, doing what makes you feel good. All right, I got through it. And then there is a last one. I have a YouTube, but this is my latest YouTube video, or you can screenshot that if you don't like to follow videos. That is a good no equipment ab moves to do right now. And then this is where to find me. So thank you for watching. I can literally talk for hours on this, even when I'm going full speed. Really easy to find me on Glamour and Gains by Eve is my blog. Glamour and Gains is the podcast. And then my Instagram is going to be at Eve Dawes. Thank you so much. I'm going to take all your questions now. Back to you, Cassandra.
Thank you so much, Eve. Do you see the questions over in the corner?
Under chat.
Yeah, in the chat. Well, I don't actually see any yet.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you make a recommendation on workout and foundation? I know you do a lot of photo shoots and workout photo shoots, and so I am having a struggle with finding some good clean foundation or some tips for working out and foundation for photo shoots.
Yep, absolutely. So I would suggest sticking with your favorite foundation because you want your skin to look the best. The trick is the setting spray. So there's one called Meron. It's cruelty-free. It's spelled MEHRON. And it's waterproof. I've done photo shoots under waterfalls in this stuff. It doesn't, it literally glues it to your face, and it doesn't make it, it is slightly drying. You can feel the alcohol in it, so spray for a while, close your eyes to do it, but that will lock it in. You're gonna need waterproof makeup remover to get it off afterwards. But yeah, that's waterproof, waterfall proof, all the rest of it. And I got that tip from Human Nature, their performers on stage, because the guys are sweating buckets during the show and they don't want to get it all over their white shirts. And I would say do the same thing. If you've got a white sweater on and you've done makeup and foundation, put it on your neckline so it doesn't transfer to your clothes.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.